All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to Virtual Racing Network here on YouTube and on Facebook. Whichever you're joining us here tonight, we're glad you're here with us. And definitely, if you just have to have that 1080p, come on over to the YouTube side of things. But if you don't mind 720, stick on over. You can hang tight in Facebook. Whichever one you're watching on, we again are glad you're here tonight. You're in for a treat. We have 22 drivers that have made the way to this 110-lap race here with the K&N cars at Kentucky. But before we get into that, we have about 4.5 minutes. We want to thank all the sponsors here, starting with the race sponsors, 2 general sponsors here for tonight's race, and those of course are Global Building Contractors and Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills. And of course, your presenting sponsor here for tonight's race and this series, that is iRacing Drivers World. This is the RACECORE iRacing Drivers World Racing Series. Definitely go check them out on Facebook. Join the group if you're an iRacer. You can post comments, questions, videos, pictures, whatever it is. If you have a need to post it in there, you can go ahead and do so. On the broadcast side of things, we have a few partners that we need to thank as well. As always, starting with Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. If you are a gentleman out there that has a beard, we all know you need to take care of it. There is no better way to do so than with some Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. All natural and organic products, and they have different scents to pick from as well. So head on over to wallsbeardco.com to pick some up. SimSpeedShop.com, your one-stop shop for button boxes and e-brakes. Definitely one of those button boxes are a must for all iRacers. They're customizable and bind to just about anything here on iRacing. And with that ever-growing list of tracks here for Rallycross, if you want to get into that, an e-brake is a must. So make sure you go to SimSpeedShop.com to pick up one or both of those items. Northwest Racing Series, the official one-to-go sponsor here for tonight's race. We also cover both of their series on Monday and Wednesday night at 10:30 Central. So make sure you check that out as well when we're going live. Ohio IndyCar League, if you're looking to get to IndyCar racing into your life here on iRacing, there is no better league to do so than Ohio IndyCar League. Check them out at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League for all the latest details. iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, your sim race broadcast graphics source. Definitely check them out if you're looking to get into broadcasting, looking to just make your graphics and overlays a little bit nicer, a little bit better, want to have a professional do those for you, you can do so over at ibog.co. So again, that is Jason Allison, the owner of iBog. Head to ibog.co. Tonight's post-race show will be presented by Randy's Wraps. So we will be talking to our top 3 drivers here in just a little bit. So make sure you head on over to Randy's Wraps on Facebook if you're an iRacer to get a really nice paint job for a really affordable price. That being said, here we got about 1:45 left in practice. We're going to go ahead and jump over to the national anthem. We will be right back after your national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, not sure why our all of a sudden replay camera wanted to kick in, but it is qualifying, so we're gonna jump down to the track here with our drivers. As we'll pull up your driver bar, it is gonna be Jamir Muhammad, gonna be the first one coming out, as well as Roger Muth, Brian Jones getting ready here, Dan Butler gonna be coming out, Cody Levitt, Justin Spear, Getty Buckner, Jim Locking, and Cole Dake out on the track as well. We'll switch over to them here shortly. However, it looks like I believe Justin Starr and Mikey Neal will have EOLs here tonight, starting in the back due to last week's race. They will not be qualifying, so we're going to have to watch those two and see how they can fight through this field here tonight. Right now, it's going to be the 14 of Jamir Muhammad, going to be the first one to put in a time here momentarily. He is on his first lap, and we're going to zoom out to give you a little bit better picture of this track. But again, I expect to see some times coming in here, predicting around, I would think, 40 seconds or less. We'll see 56 seconds on the warm-up lap here. We'll see exactly what their time's in. We didn't get a chance to look, and I was a little off there. As Getty Buckner's going to put in the first time here, we'll go ahead and put your qualifying times up on the screen. Hopefully they are working here tonight. We'll see. They're coming down, top 20 on the screen. Jamir Muhammad taking it to the top with a 31.330. Getty Buckner right behind him in that 66 machine with a 31.525. Roger Muth sitting in third right now with a 51.570. Cole Day, well, the Cole Day's now fifth. Brian Jones is going to take it to fourth with a 31.599. We'll see a lot of times starting to come in here. There are plenty of drivers out on the track still. Dan Butler in the 21 still out on the track, and he's going to put in a 32.112 to put himself in seventh position. Again, Mikey Neal is in his car, but he will not be coming out. Cody Levitt's right now in 10th with a 32.211, and not much has changed. Roger Muth is going to stay in third place right now. Cole Day to fifth still. Alex Huffman takes it to sixth with a 31.628, as he will take again to sixth place. Jim Locking going to be in eighth with that 31.965. Looks like Tony Rice is currently in 11th with a 32.927. And one of the cars that has not completed a lap here, that, of course, is the one of Chris Brown. He is getting on to the track right now. But again, Mikey Neal rolling in his car, but he will be getting an EOL. And it looks like Chris Brown is going to pull it there. But Mikey Neal obviously going slow. He knows he's going to be starting at the back regardless. But Tony Rice still out on the track. We'll see if he can improve on his time. He's not. He's going to shut it down. So we'll switch over to Cody Levitt, who is still on the track. And I believe he's completed his 2 laps. We will see here momentarily if another lap does come in or not. But just about everybody that is out there has completed their laps. Thus far, Scotty Zerk, John Van Rellis, Ryan Hesgard, Chris Brown, Sal Casey, Sam Crow, Ray Moss, Trevor Graffam, and Mike Rigney have not put in times. Those drivers do not have any sort of penalty, so I would expect them to go in, but with a minute 13 left on the time, it's going to be very difficult, as it's going to take them a good 50 seconds or so to get around this track for 1 lap, so they wouldn't have enough time to put 2 laps in anyway. So we will definitely have to kind of look into that and see if any of these guys are going to come in, but I definitely don't think they are. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of your qualifying times here off of the screen, as again, nobody else has time here with 44 seconds left to go. Chris Brown is out on the track here. He may have time. No, he's just now coming out on the track. He is not going to have time to put in a lap here. So he is going to be starting towards the back, if not at the back. as well. 28 seconds left to go. We're going to go ahead and get rid of your driver bar here. Again, 20 seconds left to go. When we come back, it will be time for your Walls Beard Co. starting grid. All right, it is time for your Walls Beard Co. starting grid. Starting on row 1 is going to be the 14 of Jamir Muhammad, as we'll get down there to watch him. On his outside is going to be the 66 of Getty Buckner. And we'll see how Getty Buckner does here tonight. It's a fairly new driver. On row 2 is going to be the 39 of Roger Muth and the 45 of Brian Jones. Row 3 is going to be the 37 of Cole Day and the 83 of Alex Huffman. Row 4 is going to be the 77 of Justin Spear and the 91 of Jim Locking. Row 5 is going to be the 38 of Cody Levitt and the 21 of Dan Butler. Row 6 is going to be the 64 of Tony Rice and the 8 of Mikey Neal. Row 7 is going to be the 40 of Sal Casey and the 1 of Chris Brown. Both of those not taking times here tonight. Row 8 is going to be the 23 of Ryan Hesgard and the 30 of Mike Rigney. Row 9 is going to be the 47 of Trevor Graffam and the 87 of John Van Varelis. Row 10 is going to be Ray Moss. Again, that is the 42 of Ray Moss and the 70 of Sam Crow. Row 11 is going to be the 78 of Scotty Zirk and the 99 of Justin Starr. And there is nobody on row 12, so 22 drivers going to be starting this race here tonight, as it looks like everybody so far except for Trevor Graffam have taken to the grid. Again, while we have just a moment, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. We definitely appreciate everyone for tuning in, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. On the YouTube side of things, we have added some new things. We have been promoting it quite a bit lately here. We know a few of you out there like to be a little bit more part of VRN here and donate. We still have that old option in there. It's the old school way of doing things. It works just great. As well as we now have a super chat where you can ask us a question and we will make sure we answer it, or you can just leave it blank and donate that way. Or we now have the also sponsorship thing where you can become a member of the channel. So new options out there as well. So if you feel inclined to take advantage of them, you can. You don't have to, but they are there. I know they had been requested. So we went ahead and put them in place. That being said, here the lights are off, so we're going to go racing this next time by. I hope you're ready for some great racing action here tonight. I know I am, and we'll see. Rumors are flying about a guest coming in the booth here tonight, so we will definitely be waiting to see if that happens here shortly. But what we're not going to be waiting for is the green flags. It's coming out here very quickly as they are getting set. There it is. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here for the first time at Kentucky with the K&N, our NASCAR K&N cars here. We'll see 31-second times. Will those times dwindle down with older tires? Will tires be a factor in tonight's race? All of that up in the air right now. What we do know is that the 14 of Jamir Muhammad has come out to a huge lead already. All right, in there, mixed in there is Getty Buckner sitting in second, followed by Brian Jones, Roger Muth, and Cole Day sitting in second, third, fourth, and fifth. Alex Huffman in the mix here. And again, here in a minute, we'll go back. Trevor Graffam did not start. Just to update on that real quick. We're going to go back here to Justin Starr, who is at the back of this pack because of that EOL. And we'll check in with Mikey Neal, who is just a few spots ahead of him right there in that 8 machine, currently in 18th place. He's got his work cut out for him here tonight to get through this field. And we'll see. It is not been the cleanest trying to get through this field in the past. Seemed to be the cautions happen back here in the back, and that is not where you want to be right now. That's where he's at the moment. 17th place for him. Let's go back up to the front to watch some of this battling as we go back to our other camera and take a look here. Brian Jones has got his hands full with Roger Muth. Roger Muth side by side with him, trying to take the position of third place, and he may do it here. We'll see. Not going to happen. Brian Jones will secure that spot for the time being. Well, we're trying to keep an eye on chat as well. We'll keep an eye. We're going to go back here a little bit and see. Go back here to about Cody Levitt. Chris Brown in the 1 and Justin Spear in the 77. We're putting on a really good battle there for a second. We'll see if that trend continues throughout the night, as they are going to be side by side, at least for a second. Here comes the 77 of Justin Spear to the inside. Not going to happen. He's going to settle back for 9th position at the moment. So we're going to keep an eye, and we're also keeping an eye on our computer here tonight. I know some of you may know about the issues we've been having. It was our own fault, of course. We have gotten that squared away, so thanks everybody for being patient with us. We're keeping an eye on the PC here tonight as well. Look at this battle going on back here. John Van Verels, Ray Moss, Sam Crow, Scotty Zerk hanging in there as well. So a lot of good battling going on out here so far. Caution free on lap 5 of 110. We have a lot of laps to go through here tonight. It's going to be a good one, and I see some passing going on here. Dan Butler's going to pass Justin Spear on the inside to take 10th place away from him. We'll see if he can hang on to it. All right, now looks like he will do so, and we got a new driver here. That is the 40 of Sal Casey, brand new to the league. Let's zoom in here and pull up your driver on him. Again, that is the 40, driving that Coors Light machine. Brand spanking new. First race ever here for RACECORE, and he is currently in 12th place. Not doing too bad here for himself. As we go back to 77, is going to get by him. Once again, those 2-3 have really been battling quite a bit since the start of this race. Ooh, the 40 gets into the back of the 77. Again, that is Sal Casey getting to the back of the 77 of Justin Spear. Gets a little bit of damage, but he keeps hanging on to it there, as now they're running down Ryan Hesgard in the 23, who has slid backwards here. We'll pull that information up for you there. He started 15th. He's in 12th, but here in the last bit, he has fallen by the 77 trying to get by him, and Mikey Neal right behind him. Started 12th, he's now in 12th, so he started, slid back a little bit, and now he's working his way back to the front again. So some of these tires may be playing a factor in tonight's race. I didn't think they were going to as much, but they very well could be playing a factor here. He's in 11th now as he gets by the 77. So we're going to keep a close eye on all of these guys throughout the night and see when those first round pit stops are going to come in as well. So we're waiting to see. We did not get a fuel window. If we get a caution, we'll definitely bring a driver up here and get their thoughts on the fuel window and these tires. But let's go up here just a little bit. This is a battle right now between Roger Muth, Alex Huffman, and Cole Day. That is 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now, as it looks like Roger Muth has his hands full with Alex Huffman, and I'm not sure right now. It is going to be Alex Huffman in the 83 on the outside that will have the advantage, as he's going to put that 83 into 3rd place right now. But don't count out Roger Muth in that 39. He definitely is not done. He has something to say about this, and I expect to see some really good battling going on between these guys, as they're going to kind of pull away here a little bit from the 37 of Cole Day. So we'll keep an eye on Cole Day here and see if maybe he spun those tires a little bit, got a little sideways, a little loose. Right behind them in 6th place is going to be Jim Locking in the 91. He's kind of fallen off the pace here from this front group, but definitely not overall. There is the guy who is already putting people a lap down. That is the 14, or sorry, he's not putting people a lap down. He will be soon. That is the 14 of Jameer Muhammad. There's a car trying to get up there and make something happen. Getty Buckner, right now the only driver that has been able to keep up with the 14 of Jameer Muhammad. However, that doesn't mean anything. This is early in the race, and like we said, one of our drivers that we know probably has a chance for him is Mikey Neal, and he's sitting back in 9th place. He has worked himself from 12th all the way up to 9th place. He's got Brian Jones in the crosshairs, and he's going to dive to the inside. I think he'll probably get by him on this lap, so he is definitely on the move right now. We'll go back up to those front two, the 66 right behind the 14. Can he get by him is the question. We know Jamir Muhammad has been so quick here in this series and just in this league period. So we'll definitely be looking to see if anybody can do anything with him here tonight. But I think the 66 has a shot. There's your group, though. Right now, that is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Cole Day gets by Roger Muth, and he will hold him off here possibly. Maybe. We'll see. He does indeed. So Cole Day will get by Roger Muth. And now look who's coming back into the mix. Jim Walking. These guys have battled for so long that now the 91 of Jim Walking has caught up to the group, and he says, I want my shot here. Let me in the top 5. Roger Muth is in his sights. And we'll see here. Let's go to our roll bar camera here as we go on board here with the 91 of Jim Walking. You can see just how close he is to the 39 of Roger Muth, putting on a heck of a show. So we'll wait and see here if he can get by him. And meanwhile, just to update, the 8 of Mikey Neal did get by the 45 of Brian Jones. As you're running on board there, let's go up to the 37 of Cole Day, running down the 37 of Cole Day and the 83 of Alex Huffman, running him down here at the moment. Your leader, though, is the 14 of Jamir Muhammad here in this race. So we are going to go back to our main camera there, right there. That is 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. There's 1st and 2nd. They have checked out from this field at the moment and not looking back here at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that. Mikey Neal has got around the 38 of Cody Levitt. He's in 7th place, working his way. But we want to look at this group right behind him. Ryan Hesgard, Brian Jones, the 40 of Sal Casey. These guys really putting on a battle here currently for about 8th position. So we're going to be watching that battle as well. And we're going to also try to keep an eye on chat as well here tonight. And definitely answer any questions we have in there. Yeah, caution would definitely bunch this group back up once again. So we will be looking to see if that potentially does happen. Right now, caution free here in lap 17 of 110. And again, we are not sure on the exact fuel window here for these guys. We did hear earlier from drivers, tires probably weren't going to be an issue all that much, so we were going to have to just wait and see. Right now, just to update on our leader, the 14, who has got a little bit of a lead over the 66 now. Lap time 31.600 was his best time so far, running 32.2s, 32 threes for Getty Buckner. So times definitely have fallen off a little bit, almost just under a second. So times, again, definitely will be affected here. How much will they affect it? That's 20 laps in, basically. So if we can make it another 20 laps to lap 40, we'll see. I'm pretty sure we'll make it there on fuel. We'll see if we'll see another second or so fall off on these tires. If we can make it to a fuel run here, I think our chances of getting a caution are pretty slim. Just because of the fact that these tires will get older and people are going to start driving a little bit more conservative on them. Thus, being conservative, we won't see as many cautions. That's our prediction here for tonight anyway. We'll see, Lynn. And, yeah, Mikey, it looks like you are quite alone in chat. We got 14 people out there watching, but not many people chatting. So definitely, if you're here in chat, say hi. Tell us who you're rooting for here tonight, as it is kind of dead in chat. We're going to go back here and watch this group one more time. As you see in 7th place, you got a glimpse of him. That is Mikey Neal. 7th place, he has caught Jim Locking in 6th place, as well as Cole Day, Alex Huffman, Roger Muth. He is on the hunt, folks, to get to the front. That's where he's used to starting, and that's where he wants to be. So we're going to stay here with Jim Locking at the moment and watch this battle here to see if Mikey can get up to him, or can they hold off. The 37 of Cole Day and the 83 of Alex Huffman trying to hang in there. Roger Muth in 3rd place in that 39. He's trying to hang in there as well. A lot of stuff going on here in your top 10, especially in your top 5, 6 places. Even 7th when you count Mikey Neal in there. Chris Brown also coming into the mix. So we may have about a 6-car battle for 3rd place here very shortly, as these guys are starting to mix it up quite a bit. Jim Locking trying to get by the 37 of Cole Day. Meanwhile, trying to hold out the 8 of Mikey Neal. A lot of stuff going on here at the moment. As we'll see, it looks like the 8 of Mikey Neal is going to dive it to the inside of Jim Locking, and he will get by him to take 6th position. Next up is going to be the 37 of Cole Day in his crosshairs. I have a feeling he'll probably get by him fairly easy. We'll see. Mikey Neal did say he liked this car here. It wasn't as tight as the car was last week, and he's able to drive it just a little bit better. So he's going to take it below the yellow line, and he will not advance, so a perfectly legal move, but he's got the 37 right there. He's going to dive it to the inside once again, try to get by the 37 of Cole Day. And he is ahead of him at the moment, and I think he's going to make it stick here. Going into the next corner, he will indeed make it stick. He'll have 5th place right there, but here comes Cole Day back on the outside. Give me, as Cole Day is not giving it up without a fight. Cole Day definitely trying to hang in there, and Cole Day does manage to take it back for the moment. Interesting enough here is we're going to take a look. Getty Buckner has fallen back 1 second exactly behind your race leader here. He's trying to get there. As go back here, Mikey Neal does finally get by Cole Day and take himself to 5th position. Cole Day almost to his back bumper, but lets off in time to not make anything happen. Now you have teammates battling here shortly. That is going to be the 83 of Alex Huffman and the 8 of Mikey Neal. You know they're going to race each other clean, but I definitely think Mikey Neal has the car to get up to those leaders. The question is, will he have the opportunity to do so? Again, with Jamir Muhammad being so far ahead right now, he is currently about 8 seconds ahead of them. And there is our first caution of the night, and it is going to be for Ryan Hesgard in the 23. Let's go back and take a look. Ryan Hesgard going around here in the 23 on lap 27. Did he have any help from the 40, or was it a self-spin? We're about to find out here in just a second. We know the 40 already had some damage, and I'm not sure. There was contact. Not sure if the 40 went up or if he came down. Let's go back here one more time and take another look. As we're watching again the 23 around at Hesgard. Let's go up to the blimp camera and see what we can see from the aerial view. You're watching the 23 and the 40 who make contact here to bring out our first caution. And it's going to be coming up here in just a second here in the next set of corners. I'm not sure, again, if the 40 you see the right there, the 40 of Sal Casey tries to get to the inside. We'll see. Still, I think the 40 may have slid up just a little bit. Drove it in a little hot and definitely brought out the caution there. As we'll go back to our main camera. As figured, everybody coming down pit road here for caution number 1. We will watch these pit stops and be right back after a quick commercial break.
nothing you can do. I'm gonna run all over you. I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Yeah, I'm looking for new blood, and nothing's gonna stop me now. Nothing's gonna stop me. Looking for new blood.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The pace car is diving off. We are going racing one more time. There it is, green flag back in the air. We are racing. Jamir Muhammad gets a good start once again. And we'll check in. Mikey Neal has fallen back a few spots. He's right in the thick of things here, battling for a top 5. He's in 7th place right now. He's got Jim Walking in front of him, as it looks like just about everyone that was ahead of him before came out ahead of him on pit road. And again, this is going to pose a problem here for Mikey Neal. The fact that he had the E2L means he has a pit stall that is very far back. That is going to be a problem. Is if he wants to get in and off of pit road faster than everybody, if there's a late caution, that is bad news for Mikey. He does not want to have to come in and be at the very end of pit road nearly to try to get these guys, beat these guys off pit road. That is the worst case scenario. We'll see. That may force him to take 2 tires. We'll see. I don't know if it's a bad call. We haven't seen anyone do it just yet, as everyone on that last pit stop did take 4 tires and fuel. So we're going to be watching theirs. We're going to go up here just a little bit. You got the one of Alex Huffman and the one of Chris Brown and the 83 of Alex Huffman right now battling for 4th position. Neither one of them wanting to give it up, as it looks like the one of Chris Brown is going to have the advantage on the inside this time, and he will get the position from the 83 of Alex Huffman and take 4th place away. Roger Booth having a fantastic run here tonight, sitting in 3rd place. Getty Buckner, again a newer driver to the series, sitting in in 66 in 2nd place. And as a par, we have Jamir Muhammad sitting out front, and we're going to go back here. We got a little bit of a battle going on back for about 9th position, 10th position technically. You have a few drivers jockeying for the position here. The 87 of John Van Vrelis and the 38 of Cody Levitt. Justin Starr in the mix here in the 99 as well. All 3 of these drivers trying to make something happen. But you can't count out Brian Jones or Sam Crow either, who's sitting back there a little bit. Right now, Ryan Hesgard is the only car on the lap or on the track that is multiple laps down. He is currently 3 on pit road, so technically not on the track. As well as Dan Butler, who in the 21 was doing so well. Now here he is sitting out of the race, being scored in at 21st spot. And let's go back up to Mikey Neal, as it looks like the one's going to get by him on the outside of Chris Brown. Now he's got his work cut out. He actually will lose a spot here to the one. It seems to me like Mikey Neal comes together in the longer run. The longer this run goes green, the better he gets. Those tires get used to this track, get a little heat in them, and he comes to life. He did that earlier. He lost a few positions and then at the start of the race and got them back and then some later on. So I really think Mikey Neal has the long run figured out here for this car and this tire combo. So we'll be looking here as now we've got about 8 laps on this stint. Maybe he's starting to come back to life in that number 8 machine. Definitely teammates are a very plus to have out here. And, you know, speaking of teammates, that's who's right here. You have Alex Huffman in the 83. As we'll zoom in on that car, that is the 83 of Alex Huffman right there. And the 8 of Mikey Neal. Those two are teammates here, so those two will work together as best they can. So we'll definitely be watching them as it looks like Mikey Neal tires are finally coming to life here as he's going to get by the one of Sam Crow on the inside. And right there, he'll put together a fantastic run, dive into the inside, and he will take advantage and take that spot here. Possibly, here comes the one back on the outside. Those tires still haven't quite come to life here enough for Mikey Neal, as he is having to struggle just a little bit, but don't count him out. We're only on lap 39 of 110. We still have a ton of laps left in this race right now. Your race leader at the moment, of course, is the 14 of Jamir Muhammad, putting together a fantastic run. Right now, your top 3 are Jamir Muhammad, Getty Buckner, and Roger Muth. Definitely a good group of drivers here, as Mikey Neal still trying to battle here. Alex Huffman now, he's got his hands full with the one. It looks like the one of Chris Brown has come to life all of a sudden, as he is giving a run for the money here for the 83 of Alex Huffman on the outside. Huffman having none of it. He is going to take it to the inside, get back by him. So Alex Huffman saying, nope, not yet, son. This is my spot, and I'm going to keep it for the time being. We're going to go back here to a new driver here in this series who we didn't get to talk about, but just a little bit. That is the 40 of Sal Casey in that number 40 Coors Light machine out there. His very first race here in this series. So we'll definitely see how these guys go here tonight. And yes, Colton, good to see you in chat here once again with us, as we have a fantastic race ensue. And we heard about a special guest coming in. I think we were lied to, quite frankly, because Jess Stabnow was in the booth, and you're not a guest. This is partially your home.
Yeah, that's the best I could do. I was trying to round you up, my guest, Charles, but couldn't do it, so I figured I'd just show up myself and see how you're doing, man.
Well, it has been a good race here. We're watching Mikey Neal at the moment, as he had an EOL from last week, and he is fighting his way from the back of this field all the way to 6th place right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a little bit of work going on, or I was going to try to be here a little earlier to catch the beginning of the race with you, but I've had the race on in the background and been watching Mikey Neal come through traffic there a little bit, been watching Jamir Muhammad lead pretty much the entire race here. And then you got a couple of guys up there I'm not real familiar with. Getty Buckner there in the 66. You know, being one of those, a little bit new to me. I think Cole Day and Sal Casey, a couple more top 10 guys I'm not real familiar with. But I see plenty of other familiar names here. Roger Muth, Alex Huffman, Chris Brown. So a lot of familiar faces and a lot of good racing out here. Oh, and there went Mikey.
And there you go. Oh, and big time, too. That is not, not what he wanted to see, as he will have a fast repair, and he's going to have to use it. Let's go back and take a look, as when we got to him, he was bouncing through the air like a little bouncy ball on this track. That whatever happened was a hard hit.
Yeah, I was talking to you there a little bit, but it looked like he got spun a little bit there. Somebody got into his rear end, kicked him sideways, and then once he got sideways, car coming behind him just looked like it kind of nailed him there a little bit.
And we'll go back here and watch the replay. And indeed, the one of Sam Crow just gets right into his back bumper. That was a very interesting hit. Let's go back and take a look here, as we love to go to our blimp camera here and take an aerial view of this. As you're watching the 8, the white car on your screen. as he's coming up on the one of Sam Crow. The one of Chris Brown. My bad, sorry about that. And right in here is where it happens. They're coming down the back stretch here, going in to turn 3. And rubbing. And I don't know. Yeah, we won't call judgment on there, but that didn't look like the friendliest hit. That was a little aggressive move, I think, there.
Well, I'm going to say hard to say. I don't really run the K&N cars very often. But with Kentucky, when you're running that inside line, man, there's a couple different lines there. You got progressive banking, so some guys like to run the seam, some guys like to run that lane. And without knowing exactly where Mikey was trying to run, I could certainly see where maybe the one car thought he was going to go a little bit lower and kept coming down. Again, I think you've pretty much got to be out there running with these guys to make that determination. And so I'm with you in the fact that we can't call it. I'm just saying that Kentucky is different lines for different people. Some guys like to get right down, especially at turn 1 and 2 there, like to get right down on that yellow line. Some guys split the seam. Some guys will run out there in that second line where Mikey was at. So hard to say.
Yeah, we're sitting here to give you everyone a better feel of what it's like. We're running on board with the one, and you can see he's really sawing this wheel quite a bit. I'm not sure how hard this track is to possibly get around. And you see there from his wheel movements there that he was already sawing at the wheel. So these cars may be a bit of a handful out there to drive. Again, we're sitting here comfy in the booth, but he was really sawing at that wheel. So I have a feeling these cars may be a handful tonight.
Kentucky's a handful in any car in a fixed setup, even not a fixed setup. Kentucky's just a tough track. You got a little bit lower banking. Again, we've got that progressive banking, so that inside line doesn't have as much banking as the outside line does. And my mistake there, it looks like they were in 3 and 4 as I relook at it. I thought they were in 1 and 2. Kentucky's it's a tough track to run, and you get these tight cards like this, and you're looking for different lines that allow you to kind of get it to turn better. And a lot of times you'll see guys run those seams just to take advantage of that banking change and try to get the car to turn better. Kentucky's always a handful in a fixed setup.
It definitely is. And, just while we have a minute here, let's check in with our pace car. The lights are still on. So we are going to take a quick little step away here from the mic, get hydrated, and we will be right back here as soon as the lights go off, assuming we'll check here. They may go off this time, so I guess we'll hang tight here for just a moment. If they don't go off, we'll be right back. If they do, we'll stay here, and looks like we're staying here. The lights are off, so we're going racing this next time by.
Well, that works for me. I feel like I just got here, Charles.
And well, you kind of did, but we're glad you're here nevertheless. I know all the fans out there of yourself are glad you're here. I know looking in chat here, we got about 14 or so people watching. We got Alex Huffman out there, Mike Neal's out there, Kamikaze's out there, or Michael, as he told us earlier. So a lot of our loyal fans out there. We're glad everyone's here. Glad you hung in there with us through this past week. But we're back, and we won't give all the details, but stronger than ever. We'll be announcing that here shortly.
Absolutely. Glad to see you're back. Glad to see the computers hanging in there. Sometimes that cutting-edge technology becomes bleeding-edge technology, and glad to see you're able to overcome it twice now and right the ship and get back out here, man.
Yeah, it apparently the coolant was just so cool it didn't want to contain itself to the computer, so it wanted to go other places. Meanwhile, green flag is back out once again. Jameer Muhammad, as he's done all race long here, gets a terrific start. And, nothing new. That's what he's done every restart and the original start of this race. Right now, that 66 of Getty Buckner is fairly new to the league. He's giving him a run for his money here tonight.
Yeah, and it sounds like maybe I'm completely wrong here, but I think Mikey Neal took it behind the wall here while we were doing that Just looks like I saw a message that he disconnected there.
Indeed, he has parked it for tonight. I really didn't, I thought he had a fast repair, but if he had to tow, he would have gone several laps down. So that it may be why he opted to just tow it. I know it's frustrating. Anytime that happens, whether, we don't lay fault, whether, stuff's accidental, intentional, whatever, getting wrecked out of a race, it stinks. So he may just decided to call it a night. Speaking of not calling a night, though, Dan Butler in the 21, who was on pit road for a long time, he is 7 laps down, but he is being a trooper. He is back out there, and he actually just gained a spot over Mikey Neal to put himself in 19th now. He was all the way back to 21st at one point.
Yeah, Chris Brown just cleared Roger Muth in what was a pretty good battle there. Roger Muth did not get a good run off that corner. Allowed the 83 of Alex Huffman and the 37 of Cole Day to get a big run on him, as Alex Huffman's now going to try to take him here on the outside, but couldn't pull it off. And looks like he was going to try to cross him over there in the corner, but going to have to tuck him behind him and see what he can do going into turn 1 here now.
Yeah, there's some real, we have seen some really good battles going on here tonight, and I don't expect that to end anytime soon, as we'll see. Right now, your top 3 are Jamir Muhammad, Getty Buckner, and Chris Brown. Roger Muth sitting in 4th, but really, you go back here to, not even that far back to 7th right now. Cody Levitt on the outside of Mike Rigney. Those two putting on a battle. You go back 2 more spots, 8th and 9th. You have Brian Jones and I believe that's the 40 of Sal Casey, who you talked about didn't recognize. This is his debut, very first race here with this league. They're putting on a battle for 9th.
Well, I'll tell you that the debut, or at least for me it's a debut, probably not a debut, but Getty Buckner all over Jamir Muhammad, trying to set up the pass here, trying to get by. At least at the early stage of this run, I think it's clear to me that Getty Buckner looks like he's a little bit faster. I don't know if Jamir Muhammad's saving or not, but he's able to drive right back to that back bumper. Maybe he tries a couple moves, falls back, and drives it back again. So Getty Buckner looking extremely, extremely fast up there, running around with Jamir Muhammad. He
definitely is very quick. And it looks like here we're maybe that was an accident there. Mikey Neal back on pit road. He's been there now for 8 minutes. So maybe that was a false alarm there. He is back sitting on pit road.
Yeah, maybe I need to pay more attention. It looked to me like he was disconnected from the server, but it does show him back connected now, so maybe he had to disconnect for a minute. But obviously he either didn't have a fast repair left or didn't get it clicked before he got into the pits. Either one is got to be a pretty frustrating thing right now.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it very well could have been a frustrated move, and he did disconnect and decided to come back and try to salvage any positions he can, because we keep stressing this. It's racing. We are on lap 55 of 110, so we're actually right at the halfway point here. If my math is correct, we are indeed. This time by will be halfway. What that means is we still got a lot of racing to go. We have yet to see any type of big wreck that took out quite a few drivers. If he can get back out here in the next few laps, as it now looks like he is off pit road again, he very well could salvage some positions.
Well, and then speaking of a lot of racing going on out there, Getty Buckner able to get by Jamir Muhammad there as you were talking, and is our new leader. And then you go back about 2 seconds, and Alex Huffman up to 4th place, got by Roger Muth, and has got his sights set right now on Chris Brown for 3rd place. Has closed that gap. So a couple good battles going on right up front out there.
Yeah, there definitely are some really good battles going on. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out as far as the top 3. As for this series as a whole, interesting enough, we saw in the trucks in the Xfinity, a lot of drivers dominated. Mikey Neal dominated quite a bit here as you're going to watch the 83 battle. We watched Jameer Muhammad, Mikey Neal, some big name drivers really dominate. This series has had 3 races and 3 different winners. We have not seen anybody really dominate. And even today, as we're watching this battle, Jameer Muhammad being so fast as he was, Getty Buckner coming in there passing him, which could be our 4th different winner here in this series.
Yeah, I'll be real curious to see. Obviously, Jameer Muhammad real good at saving those tires, and Kentucky being one of those tracks where it's real easy to burn that right front tire up. Just because it's so easy to overdrive these corners. Again, you got the different levels of banking. You got multiple lines through these corners, and yeah, it's super easy to overdrive it. But right now, Getty Buckner is just pulling away from Jameer Muhammad. Since he got around him, he's opened up almost a full second lead. And Roger Muth got backed by both Alex Huffman and Chris Brown. So that second group there, which is now about 6 cars. It was 4 cars. Now they're up to about 6 cars there. These guys are changing positions seemingly every lap.
Yeah, and they have been doing that. I know you just got here a little while ago. They've been doing that all night long, too. It would start out as it typically would in some races, and usually we see a group, they get really spread out. That's not happening here tonight. They spread out, and, you know, this race has more been like an accordion, to be honest, because it spreads out, and then about 10 laps in, which now we're about at 15, it comes back together, and these cars from about 3rd place to about 8th just shrink back together and come together once again, and you had some really good racing for about 10, 12 laps, and then we had a caution, so we'll see if that continues here or if they will go all the way to the green flag pit stops this time.
Yeah, do we know what their pit windows are on this? I think we've got about 16 laps on these tires.
I'm not 100% sure.
20 or 30, I don't even know what our fuel restrictions are here. Boy, you need to get with it if I'm going to show up and help you.
I think it's 50 or 60%. I'm not sure on a fuel window. We didn't get a chance to ask any of the drivers. However, we obviously didn't get to that the first time. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see if we make it to a green flag pit stop this time, or will we see another caution that brings that to a halt once again. They've been doing really good as far as not getting it. Oh, and just like that, I say that Roger Muth hard into the outside wall, and that car is damaged, but no caution so far.
Yeah, that car went from about 170 miles an hour to about 25 instantly.
Let's go.
I didn't see what caused it, but holy cow, that thing just ground right to a halt.
It did indeed. And I think he had tried to hit the brakes to not get into the one here, as something was happening. He slowed way up as it was. He lost 2 positions. The one, we're watching the replay, the one gets by him here of Chris Brown, and just all of a sudden just hard into the outside wall. We're going to go back again and take a look at that, as again, I don't think there was any contact.
I think you're exactly right in your initial call. I believe what probably happened there, you slam on the brakes like that a lot harder than you normally would, right? So I think there was an oh my God moment. You slam on the brakes, it buries that splitter into the track, but that splitter can't actually bury itself in the track. So what it does is it lifts those front tires up, breaking your traction, because that thing just shot in a straight line right to the wall. So I'm guessing that it broke grip on those front tires, and there was absolutely nothing he could do to steer out of that once that splitter buried.
Yeah, definitely. And luckily this is a sim. You know, we try to do our best to make it as realistic as possible here. But right now is a very good time that this is a sim. Had that been real, that would have been a very, very dangerous hit. While it would have been on the passenger side, if that had been real, I guarantee you that would have probably knocked the breath out of him. Is that, even on here, I'm sure it was probably jolting his steering wheel quite a bit.
Yeah, and I just saw somebody else put it pretty hard in the wall too there, going across that start-finish line. Not sure who that was. Just caught it out of the corner of my eye. I'm guessing these tires are getting pretty pretty gnarly on these guys right now. They got 22 laps on these tires. They do have a 50% fuel load, so this is just a complete guess, but I'm going to guess it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 28 laps on a tank of fuel here. And it was the 45 that I was watching that got hard into the wall coming off of turn 4.
The 45 of Brian Jones. And I'm sure these guys right now are wishing that fuel tank was about 40% so that they could get in earlier. And maybe that wouldn't have happened. But, you know, that's brings to part of why, even on a virtual version of the real thing, it is very difficult here as the 45. I thought he was going to get into the wall again. It is very difficult out here, regardless if it's the real thing or not. You have to battle everything like you would in the real life counterpart. As again, we'll see fuel stops if they go in around 28. That's our guess here. That'll be in about 6 or so laps. Well, about 5 or 6 laps. We'll see if that comes to play. But there's a really good battle going on right now between Alex Huffman, Mike Rigney, and Chris Brown.
Yeah, this battle's been going on this entire run. Roger Muth was a part of this battle until, you know, he just caught the wall there, unfortunately. But these guys have just been going at it. Mike Rigney, Chris Brown, Alex Huffman. Actually, Mike Rigney was back there. He was the one a little bit further back with Cody Brenton Levitt a little bit ago. So he's actually drove up and caught this group. Chris Brown and Alex Huffman have been part of a bigger group for a while here, but I think Mike Rigney has actually run this group down and is now getting by him.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we're watching that group. Meanwhile, we'll go up to your leader real fast. That is a 66 of Giddy Buckner, who has now led 14 laps. Most note here we want to point out, Jamir Muhammad led 55 laps. He led exactly the first half of this race, and that is when Buckner got by him and has led since. And that's kind of important, too, because if we make it to green flag pit stops, they started 1 and 2 on the race. So Buckner's pit stop's going to be in second, so he will have to try to get out ahead of Muhammad, or Jamir Muhammad.
Yeah, I think Buckner's probably hoping for some green flag pit stops right now because he has stretched his lead out as this field run goes on. He's got about almost a 2-second lead over Jamir Muhammad here. So be interesting to see if Jamir Muhammad is able to short pit him here. I think if we were right on the field window, we're probably not going to be able to do this in one more pit stop, which means I would expect him to be pitting here shortly. But again, that was just some napkin math, and we've proven time and again that not exactly one of our strong points here in the booth.
Yeah, they definitely are. And look who's come out of nowhere. We have not talked about him at all today. That is the 42 of Ray Moss, who just got by the one of Chris Brown. He is someone that we have not seen here this race. We've talked about him, but we haven't talked about him a whole lot. And he has now just come out of nowhere, and he is in 5th place right now. So very good job for him. As we'll go ahead and pull up his driver information. Started 19th. Here he is in 5th place. So like a little secret ninja there, he has snuck up to the front.
Well, I don't know how secret that ninja is. I have been watching him come through the field for a little while. But man, he's got these tires figured out in the long run. Look at him just drive by Alex Huffman right now. It almost looks like he's got fresh tires to Alex Huffman's old tires there. So he's definitely managed these tires very well, and got no problem coming to the field here on these older tires.
No, he definitely has not. It's so amazing how good these drivers are. They're 30 laps in, so obviously they can go a little bit more than 28 laps. So we'll see exactly how many when they start coming in. We do not have a fuel window. We do, however, have the 78 of Scotty Zerk down on the apron, and he has completed 3 pit stops, but I don't think he just did that one. Hey, actually, he did. He was just on pit road. I thought that was because of damage that he got. But Scotty Zerk has just completed his third pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see when the rest of these guys come in. Again, he does have damage, so I don't know if that was for fuel or he just wanted to try to get some damage repaired.
Yeah, they're on lap 31 on this run right now, and we've got, I believe, about 34 to go. So if we can get maybe 2 or 3 more laps in on this tank of fuel, then they would be able to do this in one more stop. So, you know, it looks like I totally missed on that fuel estimate, and we'll be looking at probably splitting this run, which is going to come, I'm going to say probably in the next lap or so, right around lap 78.
Well,
I'm going to expect to see guys coming in.
You would be correct, because here comes Alex Huffman, Justin Starr not going to come in, Sal Casey coming in, Jim Locking, John Van Varelis, and Justin Spear all coming down to pit road this time. So this many at one time, this definitely is our fuel window.
Yeah, even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while, Charles. We got one right, but it took us a couple tries at it. So we think that these guys, or obviously they've demonstrated they can do at least 33 laps. Jameer Muhammad and Chris Brown are still out there. And our leader, I'm showing him as having pit Greg Butner able to pit. So Jameer Muhammad looking like he's going to leg it out on the fuel strategy. I actually kind of expected him to try to short pit this a little bit. So we'll have to see how many laps Jameer Muhammad can go there, because that ought to tell us how much these cars hold. I think he's going to run this thing almost out of gas and try to trap some cars a lap down.
Yeah, I think you are. As we're watching Getty Buckner on pit road right now. An extended stop here, something not going right. As he's been there for 26 seconds. Not sure what's happening there. He may have got he almost had to have got a penalty.
Had to get a black flag either for a bad pinch entry or speeding. So, you know, one of those is about 15 seconds on top of your pit stop would be 30. You can get them stacked up to about 50 seconds or a minute on you. So, pretty easy. And Jameer Muhammad is coming in right now. So, looks like about 34 laps is the maximum on that. And Sam Crow right now and Dan Butler at 33 and 34 laps respectively are the only two that haven't pit yet.
And Sam Crow coming down to pit road this time. As we're watching your, still your leader, Jameer Muhammad, is coming down pit road, and he brings it to a stop. Looks like a fairly good stop for him. We'll see if he faces any penalty. Second place, Sam Crow coming into his stall now, and he will come to a stop there, and thought he overshot it, but doesn't look like it. He is good to go. Jameer Muhammad, spins it coming off pit road, barely saves it. That was a very lucky save for Jameer Muhammad.
Yeah, I went back and Getty Buckner locked up his brakes coming into pit road, slid it sideways a little bit, saved it. I don't know if he got an unsafe pit entry for that or not. I'm suspecting he was coming in a little bit hot and probably got speeding. But that was what got him. And then obviously looking at his times, he had a 15-second hold. So that's unfortunate, because that may, if this thing goes green, may end up costing him the race. And
so we see Mike, he said, Jeff, explain the EOL. Basically, if they get a penalty the race before, they serve the end-of-line penalty here in the next upcoming race, suspension or end-of-line penalty. So that was a penalty that Mikey got from an event last week, serving that penalty this week. And it is unfortunate, but you know, sometimes it does happen. So you have any more to explain on that?
Well, end of line penalty, or EOL, end of the longest line, sometimes it's called. Yeah, it's a common penalty, just like a hold is in pit road, commonly assessed. End of line, typically, like you mentioned, often assessed by leagues for infractions in a previous race. Sometimes on a black flag too. And basically what that happens is when we get a caution or something, the end of the longest line means if you've got served that penalty, if you're on the lead lap, usually you get to, you know, drive up in front of the lap cars. They line up in the back. But even if you're a lead lap car and you get one of those penalties, you have to line up all the way behind all the lap cars, which the damaged cars, those guys that are slowing the restarts. So that can be a pretty severe penalty. But in this case, yeah, I believe we're referring to the league-imposed end of line for infractions in a previous race, which just means you start the race in the back of the pack. And when you got 25 cars out here at a place like Kentucky, real hard to drive through there and not take damage or get caught up in something. We talk about not qualifying all the time, and I always say I'm a big guy. I think you want to start as far up as you can. I'm not a fan of starting in the back just for that exact reason. I don't know these guys that were running back there at the time or whatever, but a lot of time people are in the back for a reason, and you don't want to be back there racing them if you're a fast driver.
Yeah, you definitely don't. And on that point, to talk about being in the back, we'll go back to 11th place here. That is the 66 of Getty Buckner. He is on the lead lap still, but going from the lead all the way to 11th place because of that penalty. The penalty you get to the prior week, that starts you out at the very back for this week. What he got was an unsafe pit entrance, which gave him a 15-second hold right then and there in the race. And that cost him a lot of time, especially here on lap 86 of 110. Laps are starting to wind down here, as we'll see right now 25 laps to go. I think he's got time if he can get up there and get going. But again, laps are winding down.
Well, I think you're going to have a caution here at this point. I don't think he could run him down. He was able to put 2 seconds on Jamir Muhammad over a full fuel run. Now he's 10 seconds back, and he's got 10 cars in between that would have to be passed. So Greg Buckner, or Getty Buckner, I'm sorry, very, very fast driver here tonight. Might be the fastest guy left at the track. But penalty, shot himself in the foot, as I do to myself quite often. So I certainly feel his frustration. He's going to need a little bit of help with some caution flags if he's going to get back up front there and win this thing, I think.
Yeah, he definitely does. And we can't count out a caution, as we'll pull that back up one more time. We've only seen 2 cautions here so far. But again, cautions do breed cautions. So we've seen those 2. Will we see a third, maybe a fourth? Again, we aren't going to try to predict that because it's racing. Anything can happen and will happen. But it's not out of the realm of possibilities here to possibly see another one. Especially it's those closing laps. They're so important and so crucial because of the fact that the closer you get to the closing laps, everybody's really starting to ramp up, trying to get to the front, get a good position, and that's when mistakes are made, and that's when people get more aggressive, and that's just when cautions seem to happen. So whether we'll get one is, 50-50. Do I think it's out of the possibility? No, I think we still have a good chance of seeing another one.
Hey, judging by how loose some of those cars were at the end of the last race, I'd say there's a good chance we'll get it. Now, again, you alluded to the fact that we're pretty spread out, which means somebody gets into the wall and they've got a chance to get it out of the way before the cars come. So that's probably what makes it a little bit smaller chance here. But we saw that these cars were definitely a handful on the old tires there.
Yeah, they were definitely a handful. And we're 10 laps in here for some of these people. And that may be a key here tonight as we'll look up here to the front. Right now, Alex Huffman in the 83. He has 13 laps on his tires, fixing to be 14 when he comes to the line. Jamir Muhammad has 11. So there's a 3 lap difference in tires right there. I don't think that's going to be a huge factor, but it very well may be just a little bit more grip that he needs. As far as times right now, they're both running 32.1s. However, Alex Huffman, with those 3 lap older tires run a 33.198, almost a 33.2. Actually, I stand corrected. I'm off. I have to read my screen. Jamir Muhammad actually ran a 32.3. There it goes, 32.3 through a 32.6, so 0.3 difference.
Yeah, now Chris Brown, if we're going to talk lap times, he's back there in 6th place right now. He's got a little bit older tires even than Jamir, I think by a lap, maybe not significantly. But he is also turning 32 3-second laps right now. And then you get back there to Getty Buckner, who we talked about being so fast. he's got 2 lap older tires right now, but he's turning 32 too. So he's still a very fast driver. But unless something happens to close up the gap on this field, really, with Jameer's 4-second lead, going to be hard for anybody to catch him.
Yeah, definitely. And I really hope, I know I've seen him at TeamSpeak. I don't think he's in here at the moment. But I know he has been in here at some point during the night. That is the 40 of Sal Casey. I think it's Casey is how to pronounce it. We'll definitely clarify when we get a chance to talk to him. But that is how it looks like it's would be pronounced. But first time ever in this league, and he's running in 3rd place. We have seen a lot of people just come in here first race and, come right up to the front. As we saw that with the 66. We're seeing it with the 40. It's just amazing how the talent level is here in this league.
Yeah, these guys, good drivers, always fun. I told you the story about Xfinity series. I know we talked about Mikey a lot for a guy that's out of the race, but Mikey at Kentucky in the Xfinity cars went out there and won like 10 public races in a week. Just destroyed. I mean, he was racing up some of the pro drivers and beating them. So that should give you an idea of some of the level of competition on some of these guys. Mikey pretty much destroyed everybody on the public servers at this track in the Xfinity cars. And, we've seen Jameer Muhammad up there running super strong. Guy's extremely fast. Alex Huffman. So to see somebody like Sal Casey or Getty Buckner or some of these guys just come in and compete with these guys, absolutely impressive.
It definitely is. And I believe we'll see. After this race, we'll pull it up. I do not have the official results from the past weeks, but I believe Jameer Muhammad has won, so he would be the first repeat winner here. But, I honestly think we would have a 4th different winner. I think Jameer has a fast car, but does he have the winning car? I think he does now. Did he have it, 20, I'd say 17 to 20 laps ago? I don't think so. I think the 66 of Getty Buckner had the winning car here tonight, but like you said, shot himself in the foot, had a self-inflicting penalty that took him really out of this race.
Oh, absolutely. Jameer Muhammad has that large lead right now, but that doesn't mean we don't have some good racing right now. I'm going back and looking at that Sal Casey, Mike Rigney, Chris Brown.
Contact! Did you say that?
And there's your caution, and that's not probably what you wanted there. Wow. Just as we were highlighting some good racing there, looked like Sal Casey maybe got in the back there of Alex Huffman and Sen Morano. We got a caution.
All right, and we'll watch this here. And as soon as we watch this, we have a special person wanting to come into the booth here. As we didn't go back far enough here. Let's go back once again. And we'll watch this, and we'll pull him up here. We'll see exactly what happened. I don't know. I'm wondering if the 83 of Alex Huffman maybe got a little loose or something, because they caught him very quickly. Something definitely went wrong with his car.
Yeah, I'd have to get back there. I just caught it out of my eye. It looked like he was definitely off pace, and I think maybe somebody came up on him pretty quick there and really wasn't expecting him to be that slow.
Yeah, I definitely think so. We do have the aid of Mikey Neal in the booth with us. So, Mikey, welcome to the booth here tonight.
Hello, guys.
Well, first off, unfortunately, you're here, not on the track with us here. But you were down there just with your teammate, I believe. So, do you have any insight on that real quick?
Not really. Saving gas, and I just told him, make sure you get your corners right, nice and smooth, and you'll get them. So, it's been a really good race, though. I've had fun watching it, so.
Definitely, I'm sure he'd like to be racing it, but it has been a great race to watch. We're glad Jeff is here as well.
Yeah, I finally got to come do one here. Got this whole Sunday night thing going on now, which doesn't involve RACECORE, so which is it's a little bit strange. Every Sunday night I feel like I'm missing something. So had to talk my way back in the booth here for at least one night tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely glad you're here too. As it was a fairly long race here, and it looks like, I'm not sure when it happened, but the 66 now has a ton of damage to the right side of his car. I'm, again, not sure exactly when that happened, but he is going to be on pit road for quite a bit here. And looking here, we'll see if he comes in or not. But with currently, we'll pull it up real fast to make sure. 11 laps to go. Probably going to be about 8 laps to go before we, or when we go green. Justin Starr did not come down pit road.
Oh, it looked like we had a little, little activity out there. Couple messages being sent there with the 66 and the 37. I don't know if that was friendly bumping or not, but 66 gave the 37 there a couple of shots right before they came down pit road there. So maybe something transpired there between those two a little bit before we saw that wreck there that got Alex Huffman.
Oh, well, let's go back. We still have time. I don't think the lights are going off this time. Let's go back and see. You said it was the 66 and the 37?
Yeah, 66 gave him a friendly hello. It looked like the back bumper a couple times right before they pulled down pit road there. So not sure if something happened prior to that or not.
Well, let's go back here to the replay camera and see. And you said this was prior to coming onto pit road, correct?
Yeah, no, I just found it now. The 3 cars out on the track, the 78, the 37, and the 66. 66 trying to go in the middle, 37 trying to go below as they both tried to pass the 78. And looked to me like the 66 actually just pushed up and got into the 78 and then bounced down into the 37. But obviously we can't hear the radio chatter, but it looks like maybe there were some hard feelings there after that little incident.
Yeah, definitely. As we're going back here, we're catching up with it so we can watch here, at least part of it, while we're under caution. The 66, again, he had a fast car, so, unfortunately, getting himself back there was his own doing, as he is catching up to the 37 here. We'll see those shots to the back bumper. So definitely some hard feelings there, and I would be willing to bet that will probably put him at the back of the field next week.
Well, I got a question here for Mikey real quick while the lights are out and we're getting ready to go. We've got, 8 laps left. So, Mikey, who's got a shot at this thing? And if you're sitting there in that second row, what's your strategy to get behind Jameer or get beyond Jameer right now?
Well, the restarts with these cars are actually really tough. Shifting up is like no other, and they're kind of, I wouldn't really call it short shifting, but it's almost like short shifting. It's a lot different than you would think it would be. But sitting in third place right there, I think that's Mike Rigney. I like where he's sitting because if Justin makes a mistake and Jameer gets affected by it, Mike Rigney's right there, and it's gonna be good. Jameer has a really good car as we've seen all night, and we're about to take the green.
Problem restarting on old tires with Justin Starr right now? That's a question. Or do you think he's all right?
It'll be tough, but we'll see right here. Looks like he gets a great start, though, and he's going to gap Jameer by a little bit.
Absolutely. You called it. Justin Starr able to get a great start, get out to the lead there. We'll see how long he can hold off Jameer Muhammad. He's only got to do it for about 8 laps here.
Does indeed, only 8 laps, but I don't think it's going to take one. There goes Jameer Muhammad as he will take the lead once again, and they're 3 and 4 wide behind him. Here comes the 40 of Sal Casey, and a car is going around.
Oh, we got some 3 wide there. Jameer Muhammad looked like he was shot out of a cannon as he got by Justin Starr. They stacked up behind him, and I see a lot of cars spinning back there.
Yeah, there you got the 66, the 77, the 91, the 42. Let's go back and take a look. So many cars involved in this one.
I think it might have started up with Ray Moss there.
Maybe a little code.
Yeah, Ray Moss and the one of Chris Brown got into each other a little bit. Ray Moss trying to go by. Don't know if he came down and got into Chris Brown's front fender or if Chris got up, but that got the 42 loose, and Ray Moss clicked at a lot of cars as he was spinning across the track there.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look here. Let's go to the blimp camera. That'll be our best view. Not to be the devil's advocate here, but I don't even know if they actually touched. We're going to go watch the blimp view. They very well could have, not just arguing there, but I'm wondering if he just got loose on the 42's behalf.
Well, I suppose I'd have to go look at some more camera angles. It's entirely possible. From where I was at, it certainly looked like there was contact, or at least the cars acted like there was contact, but that it could also be net code too, as you're well aware.
It very well could have, and we're going to go back once again here to another angle, see if we can get a better view. The blimp view just didn't quite do it, as we'll see if this view will help us any. And that view itself still not doing much good, as we're going to go back here one more time, and we'll go to the we can get a shot here, and well, we're going to try to get a good shot of this real quick here from the right front suspension here. We'll see if there was any contact at all between those two. And you're right, it was indeed netcode. There was actually no contact. It was a bit of netcode there.
Yeah, to be fair, it looked like the netcode just spun them before the contact was gonna. Looking at the way that was going, I think the netcode kicked in just slightly before. But it did look like they were going to make contact there anyways, as the 42 was coming down there, and the one was going a little bit straighter there.
I definitely agree with that. That was just the first part that really stacked them up here. Then there was more after that. Taking a look here, we have 6 laps to go. We've had 12 under caution out of 110, so not too terribly many. But what's significant about that is we will go racing again, and it looks like it's going to be a 1 to 2 lap shootout.
All right, Mikey, you're the racer in this league, 1 to 2 laps. Jameer Mohammed's got the preferred position. I kind of like Sal Casey's chances the best as far as getting around him goes. So what do you do if you're Sal Casey to try to get around Jameer?
If I was in this case, I mean, usually on restarts, you want to kind of listen to where Jameer would go. But here you almost have to kind of guess. I mean, if Jameer doesn't go too late, but he doesn't go too early. So you have to kind of estimate that he's going to go right almost in the middle. But really, if you could stay within 2 car lengths of Jameer here, you might have a chance. It's just depending on if he makes a mistake. But he had a huge power move last restart. And, you know, I really don't think anybody's going to get past Jameer. But, I mean, you can't count out anybody. I mean, Sal Casey's definitely been fast all night. And, you know, one little mistake by Jameer, I mean, Sal could be right in this race. And, I mean, you can't count out Justin Starr or Cody Brent Levitt in the row behind him. I mean, Justin Starr might be on older tires, but if these guys make contact, he's right there.
So if you're Sal and you get a good start with only 6 laps on your tires, can you pin Jameer down there on that yellow line and force him to lift coming off that first corner? Or are these just too gripped up and able to pretty much handle that first corner wide out?
If I was Sal here, if you ever get on the outside of Jameer, you got to run him as low as you can because that's going to force him to let off. But you got to be almost in front of him to do it because if you're on his door, I mean, he can bump you up the track and it'll be Jameer's race. But if you can get aggressive and get a nice run on the outside and get right, and you can get your left rear to his right front, he's going to be forced to let off. And even if you're at his right rear, he's going to be forced to let off. But these cars on newer tires are even a little bit slick down on the bottom. I mean, you have a little bit of grip for the first 5 laps. But after that, I mean, it's really hard with a car outside of you to pass. And, you know, if Jameer needs to get a good start, and if Sal gets a good start, I mean, he's going to be in this race.
How about you think Justin Starr and Cody Brent Levitt back there, just kind of hoping that maybe Sal just pins him down and maybe there's a little bit of contact that parts the seas for him there? Is that about the only shot either of those two have right now?
I mean, like I said, you can't really count them out, but Justin Starr on older tires, yes, and the pace car's off, and we're about to take the green flag.
All right, and there it is. We got some cars limping in the back here as the green flag comes out. That is the 77 of Justin Spear. He is really limping right now, smoking. I'm not sure I would have stayed out there as that car is about to blow up. They will catch him again here before they get to the end, I'm pretty sure, unless he brings it down pit road. Getty Buckner out of the race right now, back in 16th place. Jameer Muhammad is in a solid lead, and they are really just intensifying back here in about 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, Jameer Muhammad with a great start. Just got far enough out there where I'm going to say he just got to hit his marks here now to win this. We saw Sal drive it in kind of deep on that last corner, but Jameer able to pull it right back, getting off that corner. So looking like Jameer's race here if he can just hit these marks.
I definitely think it is. And we're going to check in, and the 77 of Justin Spear has taken it behind the wall. I think that was a good call. That car was not going to make it another 3 laps. It was smoking heavily. Cody Levitt, though, trying to get a 2nd place finish here. Now it is 1 lap to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. White flag in the air. This is Jameer Muhammad's race right now, but I think the battle's really for 2nd place.
Oh, absolutely. What a great run Sal Casey got there, running that outside line, coming off that corner. I think that's exactly what happened. Mikey was talking about. Cody Brent Levitt had to lift just a little bit because he got just a little bit too far down there on that corner. Maybe even gave Sal too much room.
Coming back, though.
Yeah, he's coming back there. What a great corner, and they're going to cross the line. I don't know who got it. I think Cody Brent Levitt might have got that.
Yeah, I believe he did. What a race. Yeah, definitely. Wasn't the lead wasn't the battle to watch here in the end of the race. It was for 2nd and 3rd. And it is going to be Jameer Muhammad with the win here tonight. Of course, followed by Cody Levitt and Sal Casey, a brand new driver here to this series. So we are going to step away here in just a minute. First, we're going to get through your unofficial race results. So, Jeff, you want to run through our top 10, and then I will finish this off. We'll take a quick break and then come back with your post-race show presented by Randy's Wraps.
Absolutely here. As soon as I figure out how to get that back up, Charles. So your winner tonight, the number 14 of Jameer Muhammad. Bringing it home in 2nd. The 38 of Cody Brent Levitt got it by a nose in 3rd place. We've got the 40 of Sal Casey. Bringing it home in 4th, the 30 of Mike Rigney. In 5th place, the 1 car of Chris Brown. Bringing it home in 6th, the 37 of Cole Day. In 7th, the 83 of Alex Huffman. In 8th, the 87 of John Van Varillas. Bringing it home in 9th, the 91 of Jim Locking. And rounding out your top 10 is the 45 of Brian Jones.
In 11th place is going to be the 64 of Tony Rice. 12th place will be the 99 of Justin Starr. 13th place will be the 70 of Sam Crow. 14th will be the 42 of Ray Moss. 15th will be the 77 of Justin Spear. 16th place will be the 21 of Dan Butler. 17th will be the 66 of Getty Buckner, who did not have the finish here that we expected him to. 18th place will be the 78 of Scotty Zerk. 19th will be the 39 of Roger Muth. And rounding out your 20th spot here will be the 8 of Mikey Neal. Almost called you Mike Neal, but that is Mikey Neal. 21st will go to the 23 of Ryan Hesgard, and 22nd, 47 of Trevor Graffam, who did not start the race here tonight. That will do it for your unofficial race results. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here in just a few moments with your post-race show and your top 3 interviews. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with your post-race show, again presented by Randy's Wrap, since we didn't have a pre-race show, and we don't have third place with us here. That is unfortunate. We don't get to talk to the new guy here, making his debut, finishing in third place, but we do have second and third, so we are going to pull up the information here for Cody Levitt finishing in second place. First off, congrats on second, and you get a good finish here. And I was actually watching you race the other day. I'm not sure what league it was, as I was watching Max Speed TV broadcast it. So doing a lot of racing here, and obviously finishing good here tonight. You started ninth and finished second, so a good points night for you. So how does it feel to be sitting here on a podium finish tonight?
It's a little unreal, to be honest. I didn't think that was going to happen, but look where we are. We made it.
Well, you never know. We talk about it all the time. You never know what's going to happen here in racing. Anything is possible. So knowing that you finished second here tonight, does it give you a little bit of a momentum boost going into next week? Like, hey, we're here and we want to stay here, and just give you that extra little boost to get there?
Definitely going to put in a lot more work, a lot more practice, see what I can do.
Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you back in the top three. You're here now, so we know you can do it. So now you got to keep doing it. That is always the fun part, to keep doing it, as anything, again, can happen on the race. We saw some good drivers go to the back, and some other drivers make their way to the front. Not, of course, those aren't good drivers, but some that dominated early just failed to make it to a good finish, and definitely helped out for others. But overall, a fantastic race here for you. We don't want to keep you too late, as tomorrow is a work day. But any sponsors on the car you need to thank, or anyone out there watching you just want to give a shout out to?
Just want to thank Iracing Drivers World, our main sponsor for this series. I want to thank you guys, especially for broadcasting. You're doing an awesome job. Thank my teammate Roger. Wish he would have had a better finish today, but he died. And I mean, that's it.
All right. Well, again, as always, congrats on second place. And we have Jeff back in the booth with us here tonight. That means he has the Jeff and Jameer show back in action. We've given him life again, so we will hand it over to you, Jeff.
All right. Jameer, welcome to tonight's Jeff and Jameer and Mikey post-race show. That's right. We got Mikey Neal in the booth helping us out here a little bit at the end of the race, so he's going to help us out with the interview tonight. So you're going to get double-teamed here just a little bit.
Very cool.
First of all, congratulations. Fantastic race. I missed a little bit of the first part, but when I got in here about 20 laps in, you were in the lead. You ran out that field run with a nice lead. On the next little field run there, it looked like the 66 gave you probably a little bit more than you wanted, as he was actually able to get by you and extend the lead out in the green flag pit stops. We thought we might see you sweat it a little bit, but some misfortune, some bad pit stops. We know that it takes more than just being fast on the track to win these things, and you were able to regain the lead, and then you never really looked back. You just kind of opened up a big lead there, following those green flag pit stops. A couple cautions there late made it interesting, but you were able to just kind of jump out there and run away with it. So, as always, my first question, walk me through it from your point of view tonight.
Yeah, well, first of all, I guess since Mikey had that EOL, I was able to get the pole. Mikey's really, really good at Kentucky, and I think he probably would have edged me out on the pole. But getting the pole helped a lot. Getting that track position, it's super hard to pass here. This track is very difficult and very easy to overdrive these corners. And just getting out in front was. And not being in that pack was huge, because it seems like there was a little bit of mayhem there in the beginning and the end. The 66 Getty, he was just as fast as me. The last half of the race, I guess, we were going to be short on fuel by about 4 or 5 laps to make it on one stop. So I let him go because he was pushing me pretty hard at the start and of that last run there, and I let him go to try and save fuel, and I was able to save like the 3 or 4 laps I needed in that run, so I was able to go hard at the last stint. I didn't think anyone else could really go on that one stop. I felt like I was going to be the only one to make it.
Well, and make it you did, and we'll pass it over here to Mikey. I'm sure Mikey's got a question for you here next.
So, Jameer, personally getting a race with you, I know you're a great driver. You know how to do all stuff, but when we see drivers behind you, like Giddy tonight, when he was behind you for a good portion of the race, how do you feel pressured in these moments? And plus, when you started third on that restart with around 7 to go, you made that amazing move on Justin's start to get below him and take the lead. How do you kind of prepare for those moments, and do you predict when they will happen?
Definitely on the restart, I was super worried with Justin having old tires there and being on the outside. I started second there, and you know how that goes when you're second. It's kind of you can be kind of screwed over there with the restart, and I was really hoping I didn't get shuffled back to pack basically. And I knew Justin had older tires, and I knew he was going to wash up, so I definitely let off early going into 1, and then I was just able to get the pedal to the metal and drive off, and Justin obviously with old tires couldn't do that. So definitely with someone right behind me, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. I just try to hit my marks. That's all I could do, really.
Yeah, we know you're very confident. You know when you have the lead, you know that you have to just keep going forward. You know how to drive your way out of it, and you did a great job of that tonight. Plus that move on Justin backing up your corner like that, just perfectly executed, and good job tonight, Jameer.
Thanks a lot, Mikey.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we got those last cautions there at the end, you had nothing but opportunity to lose it. But as Mikey alluded to there, you held your composure. It looked like you had a plan. You pulled off the victory, as we're very familiar with in this league. We saw you win the Xfinity Series. It looks like you've got the trucks all but wrapped up. And then my first time here at the K&N, here you are in Victory Circle. So fantastic race from a fantastic racer. I know you got some shout-outs. You got your dad out there. I know you got your wife out there. So we'll let you have at it there.
Thanks, Jeff. I'd just like to thank Global Building Contractors, Leo's Coney's Island, and our series sponsor, Iracing Drivers World. And like Jeff says, shout out to my dad and my wife, hopefully watching tonight.
All right, thanks, Samir. Once again, congratulations on another win, and we're going to send it back to Charles to wrap this thing up.
All right. Well, again, thanks everybody for tuning in here. We have to thank all of our sponsors as well here on the racing. Excuse me, losing my voice there a little bit. Racing side of things, of course, Global Building Contractors, Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills, and the presenting sponsor here for this series, iRacing Drivers World. And, of course, on the broadcast side of things, all of our partners that have come on board here for 2018. That is Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, iBog, and, of course, Randy's Wraps. Big shout out to all of them. We will see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow is, of course, Monday. That's a dreaded day for most people, but we can make your day just a little bit better. Come on out to the Northwest Xfinity Series. Guaranteed to be a great show, as we'll be covering all of that racing action tomorrow night at 10:30 Central, 8:30 Pacific PM, of course. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you there.